All right, this video is to get everybody familiar with the new Scott Revolve Air charge station and the breathing air cylinder compressor system that's out at station 25. As you can see on the left hand side, we have 4 bottles. It's a 4-bank bottle cascade system. The compressor is the apparatus that you see in the center, and then the Revolve Air charge station on the right hand side. The 4 bottles are open all the way, all the time. There are 4 separate lines that come out into the Revolve Air charge station. It is a smart fill system in which there are regulators inside of the system that automatically cascade from the bottles. So there's no more opening one bottle to fill, then the next bottle, then the next to get to your higher ascending pressures. This is all done automatically with the system. The compressor is only turned on once the bottles get below a certain PSI. The charge station will be turned on. The compressor will fill the bottles up to 5,500 PSI. Looking at the Revolve Air charge station, the controls may look a little complex, however they're very simple compared to some of our old Cascade systems. The electronic controls that you see on the left hand side are all set for the filling of the compressor, for any of the calibrations that need to be done and settings for the compressor. Those do not need to be messed with by any of the personnel. The only thing we'll need to do is the green start button or stop button when we need to charge the storage pressure. As you look closer, the gauge, this will show you the storage pressure of the bottles. And the storage pressure for these bottles is 5,500 PSI. Directly above that will be the compressor pressure. That's when the compressor is on. The bottles may be filled both from the compressor or the storage pressure system. To the right of that, you will see the fill pressure regulator. This is similar to the old style. However, this is automatically set. It's a preset. Do not adjust it. Don't change it. It's set for 4,500 PSI. The breathing air pressure cylinder, or air cylinder pressure, will show here. As the bottles are connected and they fill, they'll come up. The system will automatically turn off with this regulator when it's set at 4,500 PSI. The fill control valve will be set to the right at off or slightly open. It should never be open more than 1/8 to 1/4 of a turn, so that the fill bottles, or the bottles are not filled faster than a rate of 1,500 PSI per minute. If you look at the rest of the charge air station, it has the Revolve Air. This is where the bottles are filled. We'll go into detail with that next. All right, we're going to discuss the bottles themselves. One of the things to remember, there are 2 different ports on these new bottles. One of them is going to be the fill port. That should have the mushroom cap on it. That's the threaded port that you see here. The other port is the one that we use for connecting into the actual SCBA pack itself. Air comes out of this and into this. There's a one-way valve in this one. Air can't come out of this, and this air can't go into this, only out. So when you're filling the bottles, you're going to cap off the SCBA pack and leave open the threaded port. That's what will connect to the quick easy fill system. As you see, there's 2 ports. We can fill 2 bottles at a time. With those, there'll be a plug. You'll unscrew the plug. And that bottle will attach. Remember that when this bottle attaches, to fill it, you do not need to open the valve. That will be done by the Revolve Air system itself. Now we could leave this as a single fill station with 1 bottle, or hook up a second bottle to the other side. And again, we would undo the mushroom cap, undo the plug, thread the bottle on. Be sure to leave the bottles closed. You'll notice in the center there's a bleeder valve. the brass valve. You must make sure that that bleeder valve is closed. Once that bleeder valve is closed, we'll then go up to the Revolve Air system. It has a, make sure it is in the unlocked position. If it is unlocked, you'll then pivot. Once it's pivoted into place, you'll then push down into the lock. All right, at this point, remembering that the fill pressure regulator has been preset for a 4,500 PSI. Now we need to open the fill control valve. We will crack that about 1/8 of a turn. As we do that, the bottles are filling no faster than 1,500 PSI per minute. And you'll also see that it's filling from the storage pressure that is lowest. Once that storage pressure and the breathing bottle pressure get very close to the same, you'll hear a difference and see a difference where it will open up the next storage pressure bottle. So we're getting close to the 2,000 PSI mark. Sorry, 3,000. Once we get close to 3,000, it will need the next storage bottle to fill. You'll hear the changeover. All right, the next bottle has opened. We're still filling here. And as you can see, we're getting closer to that 4,500 mark. Now again, once this bottle storage pressure gets closer to the bottle pressure, it will open up yet another tank from the cascade system. Open up the next fill bank. We're now getting closer to the 4,500 PSI. And as you can see, the fill bank pressure is going to be right around 5,000. And because our regulator, fill pressure regulator, is set at 4,500, it will fill to 4,500 and then stop. It slowly fill into that 4,500. Once it reaches the 4,500 mark, because the regulator's set, we'll then unlock the Revolve Air system. We can spin the bottles around. There's still nothing to turn off. We'll bleed the bleeder valve. And these bottles are safely filled to 4,500 PSI, can be removed. All right, if you've just completed filling 2 bottles and you now want to fill 1 bottle, if you do not remember to put the plug into the other empty area, if you rotate the Revolve Air system, and then lock the system, you're going to hear an air leak. You need to rotate it back around, assure that the plug is in that other side. Once that is done, we can turn it, lock it, and fill the other bottle. Once you're done filling the bottles, you can leave the fill control valve open, or you may shut it the eighth of a turn so that it's closed off. Remember, do not touch or adjust the fill pressure regulator, as it is set for 4,500 psi. The only time this may be changed is if we're filling somebody else's bottles who may fill at 3,000 psi or greater than 4,500. Then we can do that using the change in the fill pressure regulator.